Holy Mass Readings, Saturday, 2 September 2023. First reading. You yourselves have been taught by God to love one another. A reading from the first letter of St. Paul to the Thessalonians, chapter 4, verses 9 to 11. Brothers and sisters, on the subject of fraternal charity, you have no need for anyone to write you. For you yourselves have been taught by God to love one another. Indeed, you do this for all the brothers throughout the Macedonia. Nevertheless, we urge you, brothers and sisters, to progress even more and to aspire to live a tranquil life, to mind your own affairs, and to work with your own hands as we instructed you. The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
Response. The Lord comes to rule the earth with justice.
Sing to the Lord a new song, for he has done wondrous deeds. His right hand has won victory for him, his holy arm.
The Lord comes to rule the earth with justice.
Let the sea and what fills it resound, the world and those who dwell in it. Let the rivers clap their hands, the mountains shout with them for joy.
The Lord comes to rule the earth with justice.
Before the Lord, for he comes to rule the earth. He will rule the world with justice and the peoples with equity.
The Lord comes to rule the earth with justice. Gospel reading. You were faithful in small matters. Come, share your Master's joy. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew, chapter 25, verses 14 to 13. Jesus told his disciples this parable. A man going on a journey called in his servants and entrusted his possessions to them. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, to a third 1, to each according to his ability. Then he went away. Immediately the one who received 5 talents went and traded with them and made another 5. Likewise, the one who received 2 made another 2. But the man who received 1 went off and dug a hole in the ground and buried his master's money. After a long time, the master of those servants came back and settled account with them. The one who had received 5 talents came forward, bringing the additional 5. He said, Master, you gave me 5 talents. See, I have made 5 more. His master said to him, Well done, my good and faithful servant. Since you are faithful in small matters, I will give you great responsibilities. Come, share your master's joy. Then the one who had received 2 talents also came forward and said, Master, you gave me 2 talents. See, I have made 2 more. His master said to him, Well done, my good and faithful servant. Since you are faithful in small matters, I will give you great responsibilities. Come, share your master's joy. Then the one who had received the 1 talent came forward and said, Master, I knew you were a demanding person, harvesting where you did not plant, and gathering where you did not scatter. So out of fear I went off and buried your talent in the ground. Here it is back. His master said to him in reply, You wicked, lazy servant, so you knew that I harvest where I did not plant, and gather where I did not scatter. Should you not then have put my money in the bank, so that I could have got it back with interest in my return? Now then, take the talent from him and give it to the one with 10. For to everyone who has, more will be given and he will grow rich. But from the one who has not, even what he has will be taken away. And throw his useless servant into the darkness outside, where there will be wailing and grinding of teeth. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
My dear brothers and sisters, today's Gospel inviting us to reflect about the gifts and talents we have received from God. The gifts and talents we have received from God must be increased and multiplied by our own personal efforts and personal cooperation. My dear brothers and sisters, however small the gift or talent that is within us, it all depends. How do we really cooperate? How do we really respond with the gift and the talent that God in His goodness gives to us? Saint Paul in his first letter to the Corinthians, chapter 15, verse 10 tells us, I am what I am by the grace of God. He also says, His grace towards me is not in vain. Saint Paul, who was blessed by God, also worked hard and he became an apostle of grace. Same apostle, Saint Paul, tells us, encourages us in his second letter to Timothy, chapter 1, verse 6, fan into flame the gift of God that is within you. Fan into flame the gift of God that is within you. My dear brothers and sisters, more effort we make to grow in goodness, grow in virtue, God will continue to bless us. Jesus tells us in the Gospel of Saint Matthew, chapter 5, verse 16, let your light shine before others, so that seeing your good works, God will be glorified. Yes, my dear brothers and sisters, God has blessed us with innumerable gifts. We must respond. We must cooperate so that we can become real instrument of God's glory by living and utilizing the wonderful gifts God has given us. Therefore, let us make every sincere effort to utilize the wonderful gifts and talents God has given us.